up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And it is Tuesday, and we have a lot to discuss from the weekend and yesterday. And I want to thank everybody for pulling up. If you're here early, thank you so much. I see you guys all the time in the chat when we're not even streaming yet. So thank you guys so much for pulling up. As always, I want to thank my mods, Yakar, Magnetar. I want to thank the early risers like Scoop and Katrina. Thank you for pulling up. I appreciate you guys. It's funny because we be having talks in that chat. But thank you guys for pulling up early. I appreciate you. What's up, Brett? Thank you for pulling up. We got a lot to talk about because a lot went on over the weekend. It's always a lot going on over the weekend. I think I might, once a month maybe do like a Saturday show because that Saturday show we had about a week or so ago was really good because it was just so much going on. So I think I might do that every now and then. But before we get started, again, I want to thank everybody for pulling up. What's up, Loud and Clear? What's up, Amanda? What's up, Brett? I want to thank Mike, that dude on Cash App. Thank you for sending a Cash App. You're always sending a Cash App. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you to Donna. Last time I didn't get to shout Donna out because Donna sent me a Cash App and sometimes I forget. So thank you so much to Donna. All right. What's going on, Alyssa? What's going on? So you guys, when I tell you we're going to talk about a little bit of pop culture, we're going to talk about a little bit of sports because the funniest things have happened. We're going to talk about, of course, Kamala and gang with Willie Brown. We're going to talk about a little bit of Trump. We're going to talk about MSNBC, Al Sharpton, Trump going off on all the celebrities, and we're going to talk about the obvious, which is on the thumbnail. We're going to talk about CNN, all right, having awful journalism, and we're going to talk about the shooter for the NYC incident, all right? So we got a lot of stuff to get into, all right? So I want you guys to be really engaged, and if you haven't seen it on the lower end, I am back starting this week doing our giveaways where I will give away a mug every Tuesday and Thursday. So I am back to that. If you guys do or do not receive your mugs, let me know, okay? Because the mail is atrocious, especially here in Maryland. So let me know if you guys don't receive them, all right? I see you guys in here. What's going on? What's going on? All right. What y'all do over the weekend? Y'all have good? You have a good time? Y'all doing good? Howdy. What's up, y'all? You already have one, Magnetar. What's up, Jerry? What's going on, girl? You have one, Magnetar. What's going on, Mandy? All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. So what I want to get started with first and foremost, all right, is pop culture. I want to start with a little bit of pop culture. And I want to start with the American Eagle backlash. Now, you guys know, if you are tuned into my channel, I did a video on the American Eagle backlash. All right. When I tell you I saw this, I just thought it was hilarious. I saw it all over TikTok. I saw it all over social media over the weekend. And the backlash is a white woman decides that she will go and do an American Eagles campaign. She's blonde haired, blue eyes. Okay. She's slim and she's young. And she decided to do an American Eagles campaign. All right. Now, if y'all don't know what American Eagle is, which some of y'all might not know. Okay. Not everybody wears them. American Eagle reminds me of like Abercrombie and Fitch. Okay. Like that type of wear. Right. So when I tell you that everybody's not going to wear this, everybody's not going to wear this. However, American Eagle has done all types of campaigns. Okay. They have done all types of campaigns. When I say skinny, slim, big, whatever, woke campaigns, and now they're back to the American campaign. Okay. They've done it all. However, this has skyrocketed for them. American Eagle is seeing their best years yet, their best sales yet, if I might add. All right. With this whole campaign with Miss Sydney Sweeney, okay, who is a 27-year-old actress. All right. So I did a video on that, but I want to touch on it a little bit because when I tell you the lefties, they are getting outrageous. They are getting outrageous. All right. And I had a guy pull up on my video in the comment section and say, well, I'm a leftist and I haven't heard anything about it. I'm like, great for you. That means you stay off the internet. But you guys, I want to get into that real quick. All right. Here is a leftist at the mall with a big old Sydney Sweeney sign in the American Eagles window because the campaign is going on. And this is what she had to say about all this. All right, here we go.
For their racist, don't forget to boycott American Eagle for their racist shit online, talking about blue jeans and white people. Boycott American Eagle. Boycott the shit out of them. Boycott American Eagle. Do not buy them. And cancel this person, Miss Sweeney. Cancel for her being racist, for doing Nazi propaganda. Cancel American Eagle.
Now, it's funny, right? Because when the left, when they talk about people, they misgender, they don't use pronouns, they just say whatever they want, cancel this person. You don't know who that is. You don't know who it is. All right. She didn't even know. She had to look back and look at the actual name in the window because she doesn't know. She just has fake outrage because the left always has something to be outraged about. She ought to be outraged about still drawing her eyebrows on like that in 2025. Okay. We left that in the 90s. All right. We don't draw like that. You just color a little bit in. You shade a little bit. You don't draw. However, she hasn't come up to date with it. And it's probably because the left just feels like they can do whatever. So I digress. However, to me, it's just a bunch of jealousy because she's a nice looking white woman, okay, who appears to be on the left. All right. But the left eats their own all the time. Okay. So I don't understand. I don't understand the problem, but the left has a problem with it. However, let's move on. It gets even worse. All right. First, we had the lady that draws on the eyebrows. Now we have a bullhorn wearer. Okay. And let me know, and you guys let me know if you're experiencing not seeing anything on the screen because my internet is going in and out, in and out, in and out. All right. So let me know in the chat because I'm looking at the chat. All right. But I want you guys to go ahead and see this woman who decided to call Miss Sydney Sweeney a Yahtzee. You know, it rhymes with the N version of that. She decided to go ahead and call her that because she is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman talking about her good genes. You can't make this stuff up. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Probably not. You heard it here from the lady with the bullhorn nose ring herself. She said that this is Yahtzee propaganda, okay? She should not be talking about her good genes, all right? No matter how cute she is, no matter if her hair is nice, no matter if the outfit is cute. I thought the outfit was cute. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the outfit was cute. The video was fun, okay? But, you know, apparently the liberals did not like it. They did not like it at all. That's their prerogative. I thought it was all right. I thought it was cool. But they seem to not like it. All right. So now that you've seen with what the liberals had to say online and pulling up at the stores, okay, they want you to protest. They're having all this backlash. I mean, they are saying they want to boycott this American Eagles campaign. Okay, mind you, this woman and the woman before, I don't think either one of them wear American Eagle. All right. And if they did, it wouldn't matter. Okay. It wouldn't matter because at the end of the day, it's just clothing. It's just clothing. To get this upset is ridiculous. However, I want you guys to see a little bit of what different opinions in the mainstream media had to say about the Americans Eagles campaign. All right. Here we go. Mm. So no sound, you guys? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me stop sharing it. Let me try it again. Give me 1 second. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
All right, time now for the 4 at 4 with Leanne and Sandy joining us. A new American Eagle ad campaign is facing some major backlash. The ad featuring actress Sydney Sweeney is a play on the word jeans with the J and jeans with the G. The tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And here's where the backlash comes in from some on social media saying the white actress talking about her genes is akin to eugenics, which is the largely discredited effort to improve the genetic quality of a human population. Can we just bring some sanity to this, okay? Here's a company that's trying to sell jeans. Sydney Sweeney is pretty. They're using a pretty woman to sell their product. End of story. There's nothing else going on here, in my opinion.
I agree with you 100%, Larry. I mean, I think you can say anybody can have great genes. If they're traditionally mainstream beautiful, and that could be someone who's Black or Latino or Asian or Hawaiian, anything. A lot of people have great genes.
Yep. I just think she wasn't reading the room, and I think the company wasn't reading the room. Now's not the time for this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I argue, what if J-Lo would have sold jeans this way?
Yeah,
would anybody have a problem with that?
No.
I don't think so, right? Now, but I do remember, so what makes up somebody who has great genes, right? I mean, like genes as in G-E-N-E-S, right? Or great DNA. So I remember this biologist reading several years ago saying that actually people like J-Lo, Puerto Ricans, have the best DNA. Because they're so mixed.
Features.
They're so mixed because of the, ethnic diversity.
Yeah.
And health-wise, that could be good.
Now, as a member of the mixed delegation, I have never heard that. I have never heard that. Okay, but I'm gonna let her land her plane there. All right. But you see how stupid all of this is. You see how stupid all of this is. If you think you have good genes, you have good genes. However, attractive woman is used for a campaign to market to other little girls, young women, young adults, whatever you want to call it, to say you have good genes and these are the things that you should be wearing. Back in the day, if if you're Gen X or if you're a millennial, you know that these commercials, these types of commercials got you to go and get the clothing. All right. Your favorite celebrity or how they talked about the pants, whatever. This is just marketing. I don't understand what the problem is, but at the end of the day, this is what the left decides to cry about. Okay. This is the hill they want to die on. Honestly and truly. I don't understand it, but this is everything that they talked about in the last couple of days about Miss Sweetie and her jeans. Her good white American jeans, her blonde hair, blue-eyed jeans, and the American Eagle jeans that she decided to wear. Now, me personally, I've never worn American Eagle that much, but I've worn it a couple of times and the jeans are fine. Okay, they're jeans. They're just regular jeans. What the problem is, I don't know. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about these jeans, okay? Okay. I've never wanted to play Genuine songs so much because I've been hearing about jeans for the past 4 days. All right. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about these jeans. Okay. I want to acknowledge everybody that pulled up. All right. You guys pulled up while I was talking about this. So thank you, Lord Zyrus, for pulling up and fishing. Thank you, Jerry, for pulling up. And a couple of others pulled up. I think I saw the Terrible People podcast pulled up. Triple Sculla, Nat One. I don't know how to pronounce that. We're just gonna call you Nat. But thank you for pulling up. Thank you guys for pulling up. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our second story here. Our second story is sports. Now, this threw me. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw this, but apparently the WNBA, I didn't know this because all the chicks seem to be brolic. I'm just keeping it real. All the chicks seem to be brolic that are in the WNBA. So I really wouldn't have expected this too much. But apparently, a lot of the chicks in the WNBA wear wigs. Okay. They're wearing wigs. Even the ones that you think don't wear wigs. And apparently they had a game and somebody's wig got pulled. You cannot make this stuff up. All right. I want you guys to get into what happened at a WNBA game and what happened when one of the players' wig got pulled off. Here we go. The ref is saying they made fun of her and the situation on the court. So she's telling the event staff and security that people need to be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. And the reason why I say it's ridiculous is because this is a prime example of bald-headed reasoning. Like, this is a prime example. Okay. You cannot tell me that your hair, when I saw this other content creator actually explain this, I thought he explained it very well. Because when I tell you, I couldn't put the words together. This made me like enraged that I would have paid my money in the DMV. Okay, as much as parking costs in the DMV, I would have paid my money to come see you, and you ran off the court. Oh no, I want my money back. All
right, so pay us what you owe us. Pay us what you owe us, and we're going to stop the game because a player's wig came off. I just seen a WNBA game was stopped because a player's wig came off.
Into the back.
So they stopped the game. They didn't keep going, and on the fast break, when the team got the ball and went on the fast break, they didn't keep the game going. They stopped the game. The orange ball. Get an orange ball. But come on, man, the wig fell off. You stopped the game. Come on.
And that was my sentiment exactly. All right. That's what I thought. So, you guys say all day long. And if a man, like, I don't watch basketball like that, but I remember one time when LeBron James decided to say something to a fan, everybody was up in arms about this, right? Okay, cool. Why is nobody up in arms about this? This is a whole grown woman who wig got snatched off because somebody accidentally put their hands in her hair, and her wig gets snatched off, and we have to stop the game and wait. People they bowling, and we got to stop the game because of your wig. Absolutely unacceptable. Faux locks. Nothing cute, just y'all can't make this up. Oh my God. that is what's going on in the world of sports with women. Okay, y'all doing all this pay us what we're worth. Well, what's your worth? What are you worth with all of this going on? What are you worth? Y'all don't need, Jordan plays through a flu. Okay, there are other men that play with broken noses. People play with, I don't know, ligament issues, and you run off the court because you have a missing wig. You can't make it up. You guys get that in the comments and let me know what you think about that. When I saw that, I said, what? You can't be serious. But they are. They are dead serious, you guys. Yeah. Yeah. New headpiece. Yep. All that. All of that. All of that. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. So, you guys, let's move on to the actual news, because I was cracking up. Between all the hoopla around Sydney Sweeney, all the way to the hoopla around, the WNBA, you would think the people just have, at this point, sports, entertainment, all that, just shot. It's all shot. But I digress. Let's move on, you guys. Let's move on to somebody that I can't stand. And I agree with Donald Trump. He should be locked up. All right. Let's move on to Al Sharpton. Okay. Let's move on to Al Sharpton reminds me of the way he fluctuates in weight. He reminds me of Oprah. Like 1 minute he big, 1 minute he's small, and now he like extra small. It's ridiculous. However, Al Sharpton is highly upset because Donald Trump called the weekend on his Truth Social post. Okay. He said that Al Sharpton, Oprah, Beyonce, all those people, Megan Thee Stallion and the twerkers, all of those people should be prosecuted because they are accepting money for endorsements. All right. Roland, him too. Okay. Everybody did all of this hoopla for Kamala when they didn't really like her because they didn't vote for her the first time and they don't like her. However, Kamala was giving out money because she had billions to do it with. All right. So I want you guys to get into Al Sharpton and MSDNC 13 talking about how they were not paid. Okay. Because Al Sharpton actually was paid. And I don't know how he's getting this off with being on TV and being paid, to speak at campaigns and the DNC. I don't know how he got away with that. But however, here is Al Sharpton on this very subject. Here we go.
Good to see you. We have a couple questions for you on this, but let's just start simply with the accusation that President Trump has leveled at you. Were you paid for an endorsement?
Well, absolutely not. And as the FEC filings say, they helped the campaign, gave funds for Get Out the Vote campaigns for National Action Network, of which I'm a part of, and other civil rights groups, some which got more than National Action Network did. National Action Network, nor I even endorsed her.
Cap, talking about he a part of the Action Jackson Network is his, okay? The Action Jackson Network is his, okay? I don't know what he's talking about. And then he's snitching, talking about other people got more. Sir, Action Jackson Network got campaign money.
What is interesting about this, though, is that the fact that this is as you accurately reported, second or third time, lawyers for National Action Network was looking at, can we sue him for defamation? Because he had knowledge this time that there was no endorsement and that I didn't get any money. This went to the nonprofit that I'm connected to. But let's look at the larger picture here. Donald Trump is in very serious problems around this whole question of Epstein. So last week, he was trying to flood the zone to take any pressure off of him and try to put his MAGA base back together again. The fact is, he started by saying he's going to fire the Fed chief. That didn't work. Then he went on to something about tariffs. That didn't work. Then he decided to do what he started his political career on, start race baiting. Which was, he started with birtherism, that Obama wasn't born here.
No. Now, Action Jackson Network, we are not going to let you do that lie. No. That was good old Hillary, okay? Hillary was the one, aka Hillary Clinton, was the one who started that whole birtherism movement. She said he wasn't born here, okay? She even said he ain't black, which I agree with. But, however, she said that. Okay, Trump just said, hey, I agree. We can't find nothing on this man. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so I don't understand why Al Sharpton is acting like it was Donald Trump who started it. Donald Trump finished it, and he's still going. But that was started by the Democrats. Thank you. All right.
Then he went and released the files now last week of Martin Luther King Jr., some of which are very questionable, and the family was opposed to him doing it. That didn't work. The next day he goes after Barack Obama, saying he ought to be prosecuted. That didn't work. Then he tried something else. Then over the weekend, Kamala Harris, Oprah Winfrey, BEYONCÉ, Al Sharpton. The race card, the thread here is race. And that's what he's trying to do. They're swapping money. They're doing things like Obama was holding back with Russia. It's all about trying to get past Epstein. We have shown in National Action Network and other groups what we did and didn't do in the campaign. Even when I spoke at the convention, I said we don't endorse candidates. We have come with our files. Release the Epstein files, Mr. Trump. Do what we did or be quiet.
Yeah, you're certainly.
What did you do? I'm trying to figure out, what did Al Sharpton do? What did he actually do? I don't know what he's talking about. Do what we did. What did you do? Because the last time I checked, when the FEC looked into it, yeah, they found a whole lot of fishy things, like Kamala, stealing from her donors, even after her campaign was over. Like, I don't know what he's talking about, but I like how he tried to get around the Action Jackson Network being his network. The network I'm associated with. Sir, it's your network. It's yours. Oh my God. Like, huh? Okay. So let's move on to China News Network. Okay. China News Network decided that they were going to chime in on this. So let's go over there and see how much they want to fact check. Because, every time you see that guy with the glasses, this dude right here, every time you see him, he's going to fact check something. Even if his fact check is wrong, he's going to fact check it. Here we go.
I found that this claim about an $11 million payment is imaginary. This simply did not happen. There is not one shred of evidence that the Harris campaign or any other Democrat paid Beyonce anything like $11 million for an endorsement. Now, this claim began circulating among random Trump supporters on social media last year. It's been repeatedly investigated by fact-check outlets. No one has produced any support for it. The White House did not comment when I reached out this time. Now, federal election spending records do show that the Harris campaign made a $165,000 payment to Beyonce's production company after this event you're seeing, where Beyonce endorsed then Vice President Harris at an event in Houston in October 2024. But two things about that. First of all, there's no evidence that this was payment for an endorsement. The Harris campaign said that they're obligated by law to cover the ancillary costs related to celebrity appearances when celebrities come to their events. And second of all, $165,000 is a far cry from 11 million. That figure just seems to have been
$165,000 for 4 minutes is what you're telling me. 4 minutes. And I remember the hoopla around this because the fans were upset that Beyonce didn't perform. Okay, Beyonce came up there and did her, what she normally does. I am here. I am there. 1, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, knit, nap, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. I vote for Kamala and I'm going home. That's what she did. That's what she did. And she got paid for it. whether it's 168,000 or 11 million. I'm on the line of 11 million. Beyonce don't come nowhere without no coin. Okay. I'm on the side of the 11 million. And she was mid-tour. Please, 11 million, I'm going to go with.
Fabricated, invented out of thin air. So I reached out to the Harris campaign about this. They pointed me to a post last year from Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, who posted that it was a lie and noted that it had been taken down as false information by Instagram at the time. Beyonce's own spokesperson told PolitiFact in November 2024 that this claim is, quote, beyond ridiculous. Now, again, I did reach out to the White House about this to ask where the president got this claim, not only that there was an $11 million payment, but that Democrats admit that there was. They certainly have not. They didn't respond. So I went looking to see what the president himself had said previously about this. It turns out he referenced it in February, and he spoke of his source in the vaguest possible terms. He said, somebody just showed me something. So that's not much of anything. Now, I'll add one more thing. In this same social media post, the president asserted that it is, quote, totally illegal to pay someone for endorsements. It turns out that's not true either. So there's no evidence there was endorsement payments by the Harris campaign. They said they did not pay for endorsement, but there is no federal law that prohibits a hypothetical candidate from hypothetically paying some.
So then there's a chance that that is true. You see how they talk so much instead of just sticking to the point. They talk so much that they end up telling on themselves. So there's no law that says that you can't, right? So since there's no law, what's the problem? If she did, I would be like, and if there's no law prohibiting this, I would be like, and that's because they're lying. That's because they're lying. Okay. Like you cannot take campaign funds and actually do that. That's called a bribe. You cannot do this. You can't even do it. And there's been plenty of people that have, as political candidates, that have been investigated and arrested for this. Like, what are they talking about? I really cannot stand these people. They lie. The China News Network just continues to build up a reputation of lying, as we'll talk about later on. Okay. But on this subject, here they are lying again. All right. So that is what the China News Network had to say about it. Now, just really quick, here's a flashback because I clearly remember, Kamala having money to blow. Okay. She had plenty of money to blow and to the tune of $1 billion. So yeah, I believe 11 million went to Beyonce.
We learned two things about Kamala this election. She's good at raising money and she's good at blowing it. But money can't buy you elections, especially when you spend it like she did. She raked in more than $1 billion and is somehow now in debt. The Washington Examiner dug through her financial statements and gave us a good clue why. Kamala's campaign was getting whacked like a piñata while DC leeches hoovered up all the cash. She spent over $50 million on payroll. Trump's campaign spent less than 10. Another 12 million went to consultants and 20 million went to their little concerts with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Christina Aguilera, John Bon Jovi, remember him? They even had to cancel a performance by Alanis Morissette because they were running low on cash. Isn't that ironic? Campaign insiders are mad at the bosses for wasting donor money on concerts instead of ads about, the economy. Quote, they said they were spending to zero. I guess they overshot zero. They
sure did. They overshot that like I don't know what. They went and spent to zero and went into the negative. Anybody else, the bank would have just, no more funds. Kamala's campaign just kept on going. Okay. So like I said, I remember all of this. Like I don't forget anything. But, the Democrats and the people that were at these little performances, they want to make it seem like everybody else, doesn't know what they're talking about. Like we have amnesia. Like, I don't understand. We understand that Kamala and the gang already had money from Joe Biden. Okay. When they switched over, all they did was change Joe Biden's webpage and use his funds that he already had in there from his donors, because absolutely nobody wanted to donate to Kamala Harris. Okay. Absolutely nobody. When Joe Biden gave that endorsement, that's when they started to donate, and they had billions on billions to actually spend. So They spent it on big ticket people like Beyonce. Okay. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of Alanis Morissette, but nah, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared to come see her at no rally. Like most of the people, I think some of those people were paid, you know, like the people to come to the rally, that was a whole big thing. And on top of that, it was a whole big thing just about people being paid in general. Okay. Last year was a year that I had never seen in politics. So I believe every last bit of it. But you guys get down in the comments and you let me know what you think about it. Those are my thoughts about it. You let me know what you think about it. What you think about Trump saying lock them all up, prosecute them, including Beyonce, including Al Sharpton, including Oprah, okay, who wanted to say that she didn't get paid. You know, Harpo Productions got paid to do that town hall. Yeah, Meek, don't forget nothing. We don't forget anything. I remember all of that. All right. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. All right. All right. Before we get into our next point here, thank you so much, Triple Skrilla. Thank you. I appreciate it. It says, thank you for the WNBA clip. Love you, Mika. Thank you. That clip was hilarious. That clip was hilarious. When I saw that up on X, I was just like, really? Really? Okay. Okay. This is what we're doing while we're complaining that we're not getting enough money and we're getting all this attention and we're not getting paid enough. This is what we're doing. We're stopping gains. We're stopping progress. Yeah. The WNBA. Yeah. That's all I got to say about it. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So I want to get into something that I thought was just, it was weird, but and kind of like left field, because I didn't think he'll be talking again, especially at his age. But Willie Brown is back, okay? Willie Brown, Kamala's old piece, is back, all right? The man that she was the side piece for, the way that she got up in the politics, and this is not hearsay because we all know that Kamala was Willie Brown's side piece, all right? Willie Brown has talked about it. Willie Brown's wife, ex-wife, has talked about it. And Willie Brown himself has talked about it. So this is not hearsay. This is actually what happened, okay? Now, Willie Brown, at the age of 90, 91, decides that he's going to talk about Kamala because Kamala wants to go and run for governor, okay? She already failed at being BP, but she now wants to run for governor, which is weird. However, you guys, I want you to see what Willie Brown had to say, okay, about Kamala Harris's decision to run for governor. When I tell you it was hilarious, it was hilarious. All right, because we all know nobody really wants Kamala in office, except maybe those people in California. Here we go.
She may not want to run for governor of the state of California. That may not be where she should be going. I think it's going to be difficult for her to win that job.
Willie Brown sitting down for this rare and candid interview with John Slavitt, who's the founder and host of the State of Gold podcast. John joins us now in studio. Welcome. Congrats on the podcast.
Thank you very much. Great to be with you mano a mano.
So what did Willie Brown say to you about Kamala Harris? Because there was a lot there.
Yeah, well, first of all, kudos to Willie, age 91, still going strong, still sharp. I mean, I think that's amazing. You know, he in effect said he doesn't think governor is a fit for her.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about her strengths in the legal world, but not as an executive, which to me was pretty stunning because this is a guy who knows her very well. He's a legend in Democratic politics, right? He's been a mentor to Kamala. And he actually cares about the future of California authentically. And he, in effect, said she should try something different.
And he also said to you that he told her that when Joe Biden offered her the vice presidency, that she should turn it down.
He did.
And try to be the attorney general instead.
He did. First he chuckled. He's got a great, kind of knowing chuckle. And he said, I got in trouble for this when I said it. But what he told me is that when she was one of the final 5 and Biden was reviewing the final candidates, he recommended to her when she asked him for his advice that he suggest that Biden nominate her as the attorney general. And it goes back to this theme of he believes that Kamala is better in the legal world, not as an executive. And that's so important right now in terms of what California needs, which he and I talked about further in the episode.
And he said that as attorney general, she might end up on the Supreme Court, which is where he thinks that she would be a better fit. He also said after that conversation, she never called him again. So that was apparently not the advice she wanted to hear. Obviously, she took the vice presidency, tried to become president. You've been talking to people all over the state about Kamala Harris. What are you hearing from people?
Well, I mean, as of a few months ago, when she was still funded by the U.S. government, right? The VP, I think, has 6 months of support from the U.S. government, has a team,
Secret Service,
protection, et cetera. Now that's evaporated. But she was doing a lot of polling to understand her image and standing nationally, 2028. And my understanding from people close to her is that does not look good. That national standing and running again nationally does not look good for her. So the obvious question is, what does she do next? And given that California is such a Democratic state, the machine is so strong, the logical question is, will she throw a hat into the ring?
Right. And does she actually even want to be governor of California? And that's something that she's thinking about now. She says we'll get an answer by the end of summer. I don't know what that means. Is that late?
That means Kamala is trying to figure out what she's going to do. Okay. Kamala is trying to figure out a way still to get y'all's money. Kamala thinks that y'all really like her. Y'all have hyped this woman's head up. Okay. Y'all have hyped her head up to think she is top-ish. Okay. Y'all have said that she's highly qualified. Y'all have said because she is a Black woman, okay, that she is just the cream of the crop and she is the epitome of what everybody should strive for. And she's trying to live up to that. Meanwhile, her old side piece is over here talking about, ma'am, you should have stayed attorney general. Ma'am, you should have stayed attorney general. Ma'am, you should have gone with the lesser, okay? Because as a VP, you're horrible. He knew she was going to be trash. He knew that woman was not capable of doing anything executive, okay? He knew about being unburdened by what has been, okay? That's why he let her go, okay? That's why he let her go. He could not fathom the thought of having that woman with him. Like, I don't understand what everybody sees. I really don't. I don't understand what the left sees about this woman. I just think they're full of it. They keep pushing her because that's all they got. That woman cannot do anything in the executive branch. She was the border czar. She don't know if she's been to the border. She hasn't been to Europe, so she hasn't been to the border. I don't know why that matters, but it matters. At the end of the day, Kamala don't deserve to be governor, let alone vice president, let alone in the Senate, let alone anywhere near where there's laws and there's people that are going to be affected by them. Kamala is one of the worst politicians I've ever seen in my life. Okay. And that's high up there because Rahm Emanuel is right there with her. Okay. Rahm Emanuel from Chicago, Lloyd Lightfoot, and Tiffany, her and Tiffany Henyard, maybe neck and neck. Okay. So at the end of the day, Willie knows her best. He knows. And at 91, you don't have no filter. You just say the truth. Okay. You say the truth. Kamala still does law like she's in law school. Kamala still does law like she's in her first year of, I don't know, the LSAT. Like she's taking it for the first time. I don't know. That woman she don't know. She's clueless. All right. Her and her chuckles would have been best left at the level that she was at. Well, nobody would have seen her. Okay. Should have been fine. However, that's what Willie Brown had to say because Kamala is seriously thinking about running. She's thinking about running. And some of you are going to vote for her. I know it. I see it. I see it in our future. Some of you are going to vote for her. I don't live in California, so I don't care, but I do feel for the people of California, because if they put her in office, God help you. All right, so you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Mr. Willie Brown going on a podcast and talking to the Los Angeles news stations about Kamala, saying that before I die, I got to tell y'all something. Don't put that woman in office. She's better left as, you know, somewhere legal. Don't put her as an executive. And I couldn't agree more. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. All right. Now, before we get into our main story, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. We have Magnetar with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. In case y'all thought I forgot, the government is still looking to recruit you 20 and 30 somethings. We're going to get you. You will work it and like it. You know what? Y'all done laid off all those people, so I don't know. And a lot of the liberals, they're mad at y'all. Y'all done laid off 300,000 Black women. Okay. They're mad at you out here in DC. So, you know, I don't know who's going to get to work for you. Okay. The Karens is mad. You done gave away their US aid. They're mad. All right. But good luck. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And Eric Watson, thank you. No one knows better than old Willie. Willie was tapping that cat for years. Not with the cat emoji. Love you, Meek. Thank you. I appreciate it, Eric. Not the cat emoji. I can't with y'all. Oh, my Lord. And Jerry, thank you so much, love, with the 199 super chat and the hearts. Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you, Miss Jerry. Oh my God, the cat emoji just took me out. All right, you guys, let's get into our last topic. Oh, why is that cat emoji making me laugh so much? Because it's what I'm thinking. Never mind. Let's get into CNN is exposed for racial bias and bad journalism. Okay, CNN has always had bad journalism. Always. Okay, but the racial bias and bad journalism is at an all-time high. The communism is at an all-time high. All right. It's at an all-time high. And the reason why I say it's at an all-time high is because CNN these days just doesn't care what they say, who they say it about. They don't do redactions. I had someone tell me that because I was a YouTuber that I don't know real journalism and I'm not a real journalist, when you don't have to go to school to be a journalist. You know, the free press is literally in the Constitution. Anybody can get up and report a story with the facts. Yeah, that's called journalism. However, I digress. The left thinks they know what journalism is. And this is the reason why CNN survives, because the left doesn't know what journalism is. And this was apparent, okay, just yesterday. When I tell you, CNN decided that they were going to report on the story of the active shooter situation yesterday with a young man just seems to have mental issues. All right. CNN decided that they were going to tell this story the way they wanted to, and nobody checked CNN. Absolutely nobody. I was absolutely surprised. Okay. I was absolutely surprised. However, let's go ahead and get into it. Here is CNN talking about the active shooter situation. Here we go.
Do you know, John, at this point, and do you know, John, at this point, when he came in, the way that you described him walking across the plaza all in black, but with a long gun visible, so it sounded like he, other than the long gun, which is not a simple thing to say other than in New York City, right? People don't walk around with guns like that. But was his face visible? I mean, do they have any idea at this point who he is?
No.
They do not know who he is. They know he is a male, possibly white. He's wearing sunglasses. He appears to have a mustache. And that picture has been distributed to every police officer in New York City. particularly has been sent to the phones of the search teams inside that building, because whenever they encounter a group of people, the first thing they have to figure out is that individual among these people hiding among victims or pretending to be an office worker? Because one thing you don't want to have happen is to have this kind of cordon where you're trying to evacuate people in groups as you can get them to a safe corridor and have this person slip out with them. So
is there anybody here that has not seen the picture of the shooter from yesterday? Okay. And that's who's on my thumbnail, along with this lady here. Does he look white to you? Let me know in the chat. Does he look white? I mean, he didn't look Italian. You know, they tend to have a little tan. He didn't look Polish. You know, I know them people. Them my people. No. No. Yet CNN let this man go and say that. And then he said, what bothered me most of all, okay, because I know CNN is trash, but what bothered me most of all was the fact that he said that that's the photo that police had and the information that the police had. I only hope the police were not looking for a white man when they should have been looking for Nacho Libre or you know, Shang Tsung, because that's what he looked like to me. He looked mixed. He looked maybe a little Asian, a little black. You know, he could maybe be Hispanic, but white, never. And it's crazy because the media knows a race when they want to talk about if it's a white assailant. Okay, but if the suspect is anything else, oh, now it's a person and they don't know what it is. They don't know. They don't know. Okay, what they say? Yeah, little black Asian, little black Latino. Yeah, you know, look, as a part of the mixed delegation, I know mixed people when I see them. Okay, I can see all of it. All right, I see a little bit of black. I see a little Bruno Mars. Right, that's what I said. But white man, CNN tried it. They did, and honestly, if you don't know the information yet, just say you don't know the information. But CNN and other networks have to make this racial. They have to, okay? They have to make it racial. They can't go without it. They have to make it racial. It is what it is. But, you know, that's what CNN wanted to do. Now, of course, you know, when you make anything racial, and not Lenny Kravitz, when you make anything racial on the news networks, they're going to go with it, right? However, CNN didn't do a retraction, which I knew they weren't. But now you have all the liberals perking up. And what did you think was going to happen, you guys? What did you think? I'm going to tell you what I thought. The first thing I heard was New York, and I heard gun, and I said, oh, the liberals going to come up with something about gun laws. And boy, was I right. Okay? I knew it. I knew it. Let's go ahead and listen to you guys' favorite governor, you know, Governor Hochul of New York. All right, let's listen to her because this is our favorite governor, the same governor who said that, you know, black kids don't know the word computer. They don't have internet. They've never dealt with a computer. Okay, the kids in the Bronx don't know what computers are. All right, that Governor Hochul. Let's listen to her. Here we go.
Governor Kathy Hochul joins us now live. Governor Hochul, thank you so much for joining us and during this tragic moment for your state and for your city. There are so many unanswered questions about this tragic shooting, one of which is the motive of the shooter. And the Mayor Adams said this morning, there's reason to believe he was focused on the NFL. So I'm wondering, what have you learned about why he seemed so intent to carry out this massacre, particularly on the NFL?
Well, first of all, let me just say this. Our city and our state are grieving right now for the loss of innocent lives, of people just doing their jobs, particularly a police officer who always takes risks every day, but certainly his wife and 2 little kids expected to see Officer Islam come home at the end of the day. And to the others who lost their lives, I'm sitting in Midtown right now. My office is just a few blocks away. And walking in this morning, and you see the security guards down there, and everyone is just wondering, you know, is this a one-off? Could this happen again? I mean, you know, that sense of security is shattered when someone comes from another state carrying an assault weapon designed only for battlefields, but intending to use that to commit mayhem and mass murder in our cities. So the motivation is still has to be investigated, but seems to be a linkage based on his own note at the end that has been revealed by the police department about the NFL. And you know, for someone who played high school sports and believes that resulted in CTE, which is, you know, a brain injury. It's hard to know. I just spoke to the commissioner of the NFL to express our condolences, and you know, everyone's in shock. I mean, this is a terrifying event to unfold in our populated city or actually anywhere. But again, let's talk about how this happened.
Yeah.
I mean, this is happening because there are still assault weapons in our country.
Yeah, and that was part of my question to you, Governor. What do we know about this was an M4 rifle? That's what the police say. What do we know about how he obtained this weapon?
Well, we're still determining that. We don't know whether there was another individual involved. But again, this goes to the difference between states' laws related to gun ownership. In the state of New York, you cannot buy one of these. You have to be over age 18. You cannot have access. I mean, he had a concealed carry permit, which allowed him to have this weapon. Much looser laws in the state of Nevada than we have here.
She is full of crap. Ma'am, you guys have some of the worst crime going on with those illegal migrants, okay? Illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, those people. And they have guns. They have guns, okay? Didn't they just shoot police like a month or so ago? Yeah, they have guns, ma'am. How did they get them in such a strict state, just like Chicago? How do they get them in these strict cities and states? How do they get them? Because if people want guns, they will get guns. Only thing you're doing is restricting the law-abiding citizens from getting guns. And this is no military stuff. What is she talking? Have you guys seen this gun? That is not. This is why these people should not be in charge of anything. Talking about run-of-the-mill military stuff. Girl.
And so our argument is this. Like, if every state had the same laws uniformly, you could not have a situation where we fight really hard in the state of New York to make sure that we have the toughest gun laws in the nation. We have the lowest of all the large states homicide rate by guns. New York City, New York State has the lowest homicide rate by guns in the nation for large states. And that's because of laws that are working. And we want that same sense of urgency to go out across the nation. States like Nevada, every state should do this, because right now we've been waiting for the federal government, for Congress to step up, and the Republicans in Congress are so intimidated by the gun lobby. Or they might have a primary if they dare stand up and stand, I'm for common sense gun safety.
No, you're not for common sense gun safety. No, ma'am. You cannot make a blanket. The federal government cannot make a blanket law that will inhibit every state from having their own laws about guns. Okay, that is illegal. Okay, that is against the Constitution. You know, the Democrats love a constitutional crisis, right? And so with that being said, you cannot do these things, ma'am. You cannot do these things. That's why they haven't done it, because they cannot do it. It will be shot down on both sides. Okay, even the most ridiculous liberal Democrat is not going to do it, or they would have been done it when they had the Senate and the House. They're not going to do it. It's stupid. It's something for them to talk about, something for them to run on when they want to, you know, say stuff against the Republicans or Donald Trump, but they're not going to do it. They're not even going to attempt it. All right. Because they themselves usually have guns, and usually guns just like this gentleman has. So no. Okay. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nobody's going to make a blanket federal law. Like, I can't stand these politicians that have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, or they have no idea about guns and they don't know their own laws. Shocker.
Laws. So you can't say you're tough on crime and be soft on guns or weak on guns. It's just not holding up. So we need a national awakening here. People need to be talking about this once again. And it shouldn't just happen in the wake of a tragedy like this. It should be an ongoing conversation where we force the Republicans to understand lives could be saved. You'd only do what's smart and common sense. We had an assault ban weapon in our country for 10 years. It worked successfully. It lapsed under President Bush. And I say bring that back.
But Governor.
It worked successfully. When? In the 90s? In what city and state? Please tell me. They said it lapsed under President Bush. So this would have been at the 90s. In what city and state? Please let me know. Okay. New York was wild in the 90s. DC was wild in the 90s. Please let me know what city and state did this ban work. Ma'am, you're just a whole liar, right? Like everything is a lie. The face, the hair, everything. All right. Just a lie. A lie. A whole lie. These things don't work. Chicago has some of the worst murder rates, and you can't get a gun. What is she talking about? This is what I'm saying. These people don't know what they're talking about, and we keep putting them in office. When I say we, I mean the unfortunate half of us who are these extreme liberals, and it's only going to get worse because I guarantee you, Mondami, okay, Rice Mondami is going to get in there. Rice Mondami is going to get in there, and he's not only going to make sure you never have guns, he's going to make sure all these stores are government owned, okay, socialism for everybody in New York. You get what you vote for, all right? This is what you're voting for. And to her last point, if everybody had guns, when that man walked through the door, it would be just like Texas. Nobody really tries this in Texas, okay? Because you're going to get popped. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Nobody really tries this in Southern Virginia. Try it because you're going to get popped. And Virginia is open carry. Okay. You can see it on the hip. Last time I checked, Virginia was open carry. So, yeah. No concealed. You can see it on my hip. I put my hand up on my hip. When you dip, she dip. Everybody going down. There's absolutely no way most of these things are happening in red states, red cities, whatever. Right? And that's because everybody can protect themselves. New York, unfortunately, New Yorkers are sitting ducks for everything, terrorism, all types of stuff, because the people that run this city are just stupid. They're absolutely dumb. Oh my God, I can't stand this lady. The stuff that she says out of her mouth, she actually believes it. I'm going to let her finish this last part here.
Even when Joe Biden was president and Democrats controlled Congress, your party did not pass a ban on semi-automatic rifles, even in the wake of really horrific mass shootings like this one. So,
that's what I said.
So what makes you think that anything would be different now? And do you fault your own party for not acting on this when you were in charge?
I'm looking for political courage. I'm looking for people to stand up for the people of this nation and say enough is enough. How much more slaughter do we have to endure because of these assault weapons? We had this happen in my hometown of Buffalo in 2022. You remember 10 people shopping at a Tops grocery store in a black part of our city. This individual targeted them, a white supremacist, because of the color of their skin.
In a black part of our city, Lord, this woman cannot stop race baiting. And he targeted them because of the color of their skin. So only black people shop at this store. You got, man.
They were slaughtered, gunned down with the same kind of weapon. We sprung into action. We made sure that our laws were tougher and tighter, and we're doing much more to keep people safe in the state of New York. But I don't want to be having my residents affected by someone coming from another state who could easily get their hands on this assault weapon, travel across multiple states, and do what they did just yesterday. So I want to be able to protect New Yorkers. It's my #1 priority. It's hard to do it when other states aren't stepping up, and certainly Congress has let us down.
And Governor, people who would oppose a national ban on semi-automatic weapons, which you're calling for now, would say that there needs to be amped up security, physical security in some of these buildings. Here in what happened yesterday, from what you know, was there sufficient security inside that building?
There was very much security in that building. To have a company hire an off-duty police officer, I don't know how you get more secure than that.
Ma'am, a lot of these buildings are not secure because a lot of these blue states cannot afford the overtime to give these police officers. So, ma'am, you're absolutely a liar. And at that point, I'm just going to end it here with this woman. But you see the sentiment, okay? You see the sentiment that is growing within the Democratic Party ever since this happened, okay? And here's the thing. They are finding out more and more and more, and I'm going to stay on this story, but they are finding out more and more of, yeah, these are off-duty officers. A lot of the times in these buildings or for these companies, they hire off-duty officers, or they hire officers on overtime, like, and they have to pay them. They have to pay them. And if it's, if it's a government building, they have to pay them. And then if it's private, that's a lot of money, which is the reason why a lot of them go armed security, things like that, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot, especially in New York. Okay. It's a lot in DC, and that is a lucrative business. So no, it's these buildings are not protected. But again, as I stated, this woman thinks these laws are going to keep people safe, and it only just goes for the law-abiding citizens. That's it. That's absolutely it. It has nothing to do with everybody else. Nobody else is going to listen to any of that. Okay? Absolutely nobody. And they're not, because the crime rate is up in New York. It's up. And the reason why it's up is because, of course, those illegal migrants and all the gangs and things like that. But they have what regular, everyday, average citizens can't have: weapons. And it just is what it is. It just is. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the CNN inaccurately describing the assailant or the suspect as a white man with a mustache, okay? Ignoring that the man had a curly fro, ignoring that he was a little on the browner side, okay? Ignoring all of those facts and just reporting what they wanted to report, okay? Because that's what they did. And let me know what you think about CNN also having the governor on, okay? The governor of New York, and how she is calling for even more stricter gun laws, right? Because anytime this happens, it's not, it's no empathy for the people and what they've been enduring these last 4 years. The empathy is not there. It's not. Everything is about these daggone migrants and making everything hard for the average American, because that's who this is going to affect. It's not going to affect anybody else. So you guys get down in the comments. Excuse me. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this, because CNN has awful journalism. They have awful people come on, like these Democrats, and they're just awful all the way around. So you guys let me know what you think about it. I want to get to these last super chats. The $5 super chat, thank you so much. I appreciate it. $5 super chat from Gary's 6159. Enjoy the show, Mika, while driving home from work. Great job, Mika. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And it was a lot of you guys in here today, so thank you so much for enduring me for this hour and 15 minutes. I appreciate it. And my girl Jerry, thank you so much, hon. The blanket federal law is 2A. Jerry, get this woman out of here. Get this woman out of here, because these people don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about the law. They don't know the Constitution. They don't know anything. Okay. All right. Like, at this point, they're the constitutional crisis. because you have too many people like Holcomb here, or Holco. You have too many people like her. You have too many people like Ratchet Crockett. You have too many people like Ayanna Presley. You have too many people like Gavin Newsom. You have too many people like Kamala who don't know the law, don't care about the law, don't care about the people. They just want to do what they want to do. They put these frivolous laws down without looking at how it's going to affect American people. And the media are complicit right along with them. They'll go and report these stupid findings when they know it's wrong. They'll go and do all this biased stuff when they know it's wrong. And they have absolutely no shame. They don't care about how it affects us. They don't care about what it looks like. They don't care to even go back and correct it, because all they're interested in is stoking the flames and division. That's it. That's all they care about. So at the end of the day, you guys, we have to look at it and say, what do we want? And what we want is to get most of these people out of here. They're talking about gerrymandering. If you don't know what gerrymandering is, it's when the party in control in districts and states, they go and change the districts around to get more. Please do not gerrymander and get more Democratic districts. Let's get these people up out of here. They're nuts. I don't like all Republicans, but I rather deal with the Republicans and, middle of the road Republicans than deal with lefties, socialists, communists, those types of people. I can't do it. I absolutely can't do it. I refuse to. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about the pop culture topic with American Eagle. Let me know what you think about the sports topics with the WNBA and snatching off wigs and wasting our time at these games. Let me know what you think about locking them all up, as Trump say, all the celebrities that took money from Kamala, including Al Sharpton, Beyonce, and OPRAH. Okay, let me know what you think about Willie Brown coming out, talking about his former side piece. Okay, Kamala saying that she ought to sit down because we're tired of seeing her. Let me know. And then let me know what you think about, again, CNN and their biased reporting as always. All right. Thank you guys for pulling up. Thank you, Rashad. Thank you, Vashawn. Thank you, Wars Peace. And Bigfoot Megan. Megan dating one of y'all basketball players. Y'all should like it. She dating y'all basketball players. Let's see how long that lasts. Thank you, Snow Bunny Bag Chaser. I appreciate you. Thank you, Got Flavor. Thank you, Terrible People Podcast. Thank you, Scoop. Thank you, Mike 97. Thank you, Echo Jedi. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Loud and Clear. Thank you, Hybrid. Oh man, a lot of y'all pulled up. Thank you, Magnetar. Thank you, KRWN me or Crown Me. I think that's how you say it. All right. Thank you, Artifacts. Thank you. Who else we got in here? Alyssa, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Who else we got in here? Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, Gary's 6159. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate you, love. Thank you, Eric Watson. Thank you, love. Triple Skrilla. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you to Mike That Dude. Thank you to, let's see who else. Your car got flavor. Who else we got that I can see real quick? Thank you, Outlaw Nation. What's going on? Who else? Thank you, Seminole. Thank you, Simeon. Thank you, Loso Way 24. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, Shadow Dragon. I think I got most of you guys. I appreciate you as always. If I forget you, I'll try to get you on the next one. Thank you, Critical Thinking. Try it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everybody that pulled up. Simeon Takeo, I think Christian, Andrea, Lord Jammer. Thank you all for pulling up. I appreciate you as always. And thank you so much for all the people we have, watching in here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button so we can always get it out to a lot of people like this. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good Tuesday, and I will see you live on Thursday, where I will again be giving away my ball-headed reasoning cups, as you can see. Okay. That will be Thursday. So I will be doing that on Thursday. But again, thank you all for pulling up. Again, it's your girl, Mika. I appreciate you. And I'm out.